So today I'm going to show you how you can turn one coin into 10 coins. And by the end of the video I'm going to show you my trade exactly that I took. So for this strategy we are looking for a bearish trend, and the pair that I was using for this strategy was the EURJPY, and here we can see the trend is pretty bearish here ever since May 21, and here we broke this support kind of slightly area, so around here we broke it then completely, and basically momentum was bearish. For this strategy we want to look for a bearish trend. To be honest, the same strategy works for the upside as well, but here initially we are looking for a bearish trend, and here we can see a trend line, pretty nice one from here to here, and my entry was right at this touch of the trend line, so which was the third touch. So here the third, fourth touch, depends how you draw your lines. On the 4-hour chart it looks slightly different, but here this was the area, and basically what we see here, the market, once it breaks a specific area of support as it did here and here, then it pulls always back to retest the previous support area. And at the same time here, after a huge momentum to the downside, it shifts slightly to the side here as well. And again here we can always see the retest to the last support line, and this is always what we want to look for, which are confluences number 1 and 2. So number 1 is the trend line, number 2 the retest to the last support line, which here almost happens always pinpoint exactly to the last wick. And here if we add the EMAs, then you can see we are here trading bearish just for complete beginners. Here we had a cross between the 200 EMA and the other EMAs to the downside. Here was the cross, so momentum is bearish, and here the retest happened always to the 50-day EMA. So now here's the trend line on the 4-hour chart, and we can here see clearly touch number 1, here 2, 3, and here the 4, which is here on the 4-hour chart, the retest of the 200 EMA area. And we can always see here this move to the side and slightly up, which here is always a bearish flag, or people call it bearish flag, you can call it whatever you want. But you can see here always we're retesting the last week here, 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 exactly. Always the same. So now what we want to see is this break, so the break of the support area, which is here. And if we take a look, the break here happened with this bearish red engulfing candlestick, so it bounced to the downside off of the 20 EMA, and you can see here it broke the whole area right here, so this one. And so what we want to now do is we want to wait for a retest to come back into this area, and this is exactly what happened here. And so now once we are back in this area, we don't want to just go for a straight entry. So because here if we take a look at the support area right here, so this one, which then turned out to be a resistance area, and some people probably entered here to short somewhere around here. Once the market came to this area, they entered around here, and with a stop loss slightly above the high right here. Target was probably this area, and you can see here the market went to the upside, which basically stopped all the people who entered here out of the trade and took all the money. And at the same time we had here this bullish engulfing candlestick breaking the 200 EMA, followed by this bullish candlestick as well. So some buyers were waiting here, entering probably after this candlestick, waiting for suddenly a turnaround to the upside. And here the market suddenly turned around and stopped all the people who entered after this candlestick out as well, because here you see the banks coming in and just continuing with the movement to the downside. So we want to here see a sign that looks kind of bearish, and then we want to enter. So for the entry, after we had here this trend line and the 200 EMA retest right around here at the engulfing candlestick, now if we take a look here, we have this fully engulfing candlestick here slightly above the 200 EMA, but this here is entry kind of enough maybe not 100% enough, but if you're experienced, you can use it. And if we take a look at the MACD and the RSI, we can see here at this candlestick suddenly the RSI went below the 50 levels, so market here is switching to the downside, and here exactly the cross between the blue and the orange line on the MACD happened, and the first red rectangle. And if we switch down to, or if we go to the 1 hour chart, here the entry basically where I entered was this engulfing candlestick. So here on the 1 hour chart we can see here this fully engulfed candlestick which closed without any kind of sign to the downside. So here fully closed compared to the other candlesticks right here. We always have a wick left, but this one here completely closed to the end. Here one as well, which also could have been an entry point, but basically my entry was right here. Stop loss was around here, and my target was all the way down to these levels. So this is where I exited the trade. So you can see here 1 to 15 trade pretty much, and here on the 1 hour chart we see the MACD here below the 50 levels, and here we crossed the 0 levels, so suddenly trading below the 0 levels, and this was my entry point. So pretty simple strategy, and here you should just wait for or find a nice entry and then not be afraid, just let the trade run out and take your profit whenever you feel comfortable. But here you can see the trade was 1 to 16, depends exactly where you enter and exit and how you place your stop loss. But this was the trade that I took. And so this trade works basically on every time frame. Just keep in mind this here was kind of a swing trade, which is also for people who have a full-time job. So you have more time to enter the trade and you can trade a little bit more relaxed. On the lower time frames it works as well. Just keep in mind on the 1 minute chart the noise is much bigger, so there's much more going on, which means it would be a little bit harder if you don't have enough experience. But basically it works on any time frame, and it works also to the upside, so meaning when the trend is up it's the same. So basically this was the trade for today, or the video and the strategy. So thanks for watching and see you next time. So this was the strategy of today. Now keep in mind, even though you can make $10,000 with $1,000, it's about your risk reward ratio. So you want to risk 1 to make 10, 1,000 to make 10,000. Keep that in mind. It depends how big your trading account is. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I will try to make more videos in future, so see you next time.